The world is on a chase for beauty, ironically to match its desire. Unfortunately, the things we desire are not always as good for us as what objectively is. In our modern day, it's become easy to get swept up in the world of beauty for its power to strike and influence, even with our modern standards and rules, but we simultaneously forget the value of the thing we're beautifying. When we come to Illymation, or Alyssa, what we find is a person trying to maintain her own well-being, yet while she does not know the what or how, and she's lost the why. YouTuber Think Before You Sleep made a response to Alyssa's video about being a fat kid, thoroughly dissecting every part of it for what of it was factually wrong, then offered advice to move forward with, as he's well versed in fitness for his decade of experience. Gracefully, his video is half an hour long, with all of it being concrete information to assist in what her real problem is. There wasn't a single insult in it. Still, Thinker became a victim to a mass flagging attack based on a misperception that was created by Alyssa and the group of friends around her. Yet while what you can see is that the group of friends around her are disingenuous to the point in which they'll actually make things up based on their emotional reception to the facts that have nothing to do with them. Not one line in their paraphrasing actually made it into Thinker's video, and yet this emotionality is what they communicate to Alyssa while calling them facts. Because I watched the video, I know what was said, so the fact that they're talking about it like this, rather than actually talking about the solid advice that was given, it just makes you wonder how they talk naturally if it's this toxic without a basis to begin with. Alyssa began her journey trying to become fit, but without really knowing what that means. So, she allowed herself to become subject to any and every kind of workout that could make her sweat, because sweating is good. Unfortunately, Alyssa did not have guidance. Her actual research equates to her looking wherever there was a leader to guide, of which there are millions online looking to get paid.
The animation storytime YouTuber Alyssa and her channel Illymation is a perfect example of what fat activists have turned the body positivity movement into. Body positivity was initially about accepting flaws or imperfections that we can't change, but now it's being used to justify addiction, and it's helping people make excuses to not change things that are completely in their control. In this video, Perks of Being the Fat Kid, Alyssa talks about her personal struggles with weight and dieting, but from a body positivity / fat acceptance point of view. While it is easy to sympathize and care about her struggles because the first 5 minutes of the video are about bullying.
And based on how I was treated as a kid for being fat, that 3-letter word brings back so many bad memories.
So while it is easy to sympathize with her being treated poorly as a teenager, unfortunately, this video is full of tabloid-style research and bad information that will lead people into an ideology that will cause them to be okay with being obese. For example, this moment here.
According to the National Library of Medicine, about 1/2 of teenage girls and 1/4 of teenage boys have tried dieting to change the shape of their body. And of those girls, more than 1 out of 3 were actually at a healthy weight to begin with. And these numbers are wild to me.
So my first question is, what's wrong with teens trying to lose weight? 1 in 5 people between the ages of 2 and 19 in America are obese, which means they should be concerned about their health. The second part of this statement says that 33% of teen girls who tried a diet were already at a healthy weight. What does a healthy weight mean? By some standards, I could be 40 pounds heavier than what people would describe as thin and still be at a healthy weight. These girls might have wanted to diet because they weren't thin, and wanting to be thin does not mean you desire to be underweight like the tone of this was suggesting. So I looked up where Alyssa got the quote, to which she did not properly cite, so maybe this is the correct source. The first problem I see is that this is a sociological study from 20 years ago. Way too old. Studies like randomized surveys are out of date after 5 years because culture can change quickly. The second issue is that this page cites no sources, which means I don't know any of the specific definitions of the information here, so effectively this is an opinion piece, not scientific data. In fact, this page is so old that half the links are broken. Seriously, fire the person who did this research. Then in this section here, the article tries to conflate trying to lose weight with symptoms of anorexia. If you're tired, depressed, cold, and dizzy, then you're probably cutting way too many calories. Or you're addicted to sugar like most people, and you're experiencing withdrawal from skipping dessert and not drinking like 3 liters of soda and orange juice every day. It will take around 10 days for that to go away. Deal with the sugar withdrawal. Don't cut more than 500 calories below your maintenance per day. Learn how to cook and portion meals properly, and you'll be fine.
With money wasted on a trainer trying to coach a whole gym, Alyssa's hopes faded into another box of cookies. She documents that she didn't seem to be losing any weight throughout all her time working out. Yet while this is actually unfeasible in reality, the only way to keep weight is to eat weight. So to burn calories for weeks and remain the same 200 to 300 pounds can only mean that you're the problem. The irony is that the only detail she didn't give us were the meals she was eating, which is cheating. So, after a while of wasted effort, she begins to think that success is unlikely. Yet while all these decisions and conclusions are being made inside her head, rather than with an actual professional who'd speak to her. Eventually, she gives up on trying to become fit, promoting the notion of comfortable health at any size, which is absolutely untrue.
Just because I'm fat, that doesn't invalidate the things that I say.
She died.
You ready to get supersized?
She died too.
Today I got the big Fruit Loop.
He's dead.
Join me on my Fat Positive radio show.
Which didn't last long because she died.
When it comes to fitness, some of the things that need to be taken account of are how our individual bodies function. There are categories and rules to follow for things as simple as a difference in blood type. So understanding your own body allows you to fluently operate yourself as you are an individual organism. There are 3 body types, and there's no shame in being the fat one. It is what it is. But that you can really be so ignorant as to walk into Planet Fitness expecting to just jump on a treadmill and go is comical when you don't even know what you are. Unfortunately, since this isn't even taught in schools, or mine at least, it isn't even common knowledge. But as you were in the field, your lack of basic understanding and lack of capability to conduct effective research just shows that you are completely out of your depth to make any objective statements at all. While you're hiding the objective data of your meals shows that you never had the intention within yourself to begin with. I would feel bad for you if you were even trying, but if you can rationalize being overweight with being comfortable, what it shows that you only wanted to be fit in the first place because you wanted to be comfortable, not because you had a desire to change your health for the better.
Let's get back to Alyssa's video.
Teenagers should be focused on getting good grades, hanging out with their friends, and seeing the Timothy Chalamet Willy Wonka movie, not counting calories.
I disagree. If they're obese, then they should be counting calories, learning how to eat healthier, and not buying movie snacks. It's also kind of disingenuous framing to show animations of teens who are a thin, attractive weight, and use that to suggest that kids who do have weight problems like obesity should be focusing on yet another low-risk, unoriginal Hollywood movie about a candy company instead of trying to fix their health issues. Though it's kind of ironic that a video about fat acceptance almost exclusively features thin people. Why did you choose to do that? Are you trying to erase fat people from existence? Put an anime parody of Choji here instead of Sasuke, or you're a bigot. But at this point, it becomes very apparent that Alyssa doesn't really know much about health or fitness and is not really qualified to give advice on this topic.
As we break it down, quite quickly we come to realize that all these negative perceptions about her could ultimately formalize because of the lack of awareness within her own video. She believes this was caused by Thinker, yet while she is herself publicizing a twisted perception of reality to her audience.
All right, let's see Alyssa's final piece of advice.
A carrot isn't an inherent good food, while chocolate is an inherent bad food. Food is just food. No matter how many calories, carbs, sugars, you should feel free to eat whatever food you want to without beating yourself up about it.
I'm done. That was such terrible advice. I don't know how this video could be considered as anything other than enabling food addicts to not fix their health. She basically just said, I tried to lose weight to look more attractive, and I gave up because I couldn't figure it out, so you should give up too and gaslight yourself about what your actual goal was. Thanks, Alyssa. You're really improving the world. You know what's great about this advice? Because you conflated being overweight with extreme obesity so you could say that both are healthy, what's going to happen is that people who watch this video that are 300 pounds are going to say, see, Alyssa is fine with being overweight. I don't have to change either. And then they'll eat themselves into an early grave. Stop writing criticism off as malicious concern trolling when the ending message of your video was effectively, if you can't stop doing drugs, then drugs aren't bad, and you should take whatever drugs you want and as many drugs as you want. Keep in mind that Alyssa's videos are clearly targeted at children based on the style of animation and the references and jokes she makes. I will say that my opinion of Alyssa was far more favorable, specifically until I saw that last clip.
So, as the actual reason for why Alyssa's channel is being mass attacked is genuinely questionable, her response being to both attack and defend at the same time, rather than listen and open the conversation, shows us that she's not mature enough for what it means to be an adult. Instead, she chose to rally her audience and commence a mass flagging attack out of angry fear that Thinker is himself a bully. You really have to laugh when someone with a name like Thinker is being bullied for how people feel, since they have not thought once about what he had to say. What a time to be alive.